vehicle crashes are the number one leading cause of death for teens in the United States. All are preventable. Certain actions can be taken, and certain actions are proven to be successful for the safety of drivers, for the teens that are killed from the ages to 18 to 19. In 2011, 2,650 teens were killed in a motor vehicle accident. The CDC says that there's 292,000 accidents in the emergency room within the first month of licensure from the age of at the age of 16. The reason being of the inexperience that a person could have because of reckless driving, or the teen can be impaired. Drinking, drugs, whatever the case may be. Most 16-year-olds at that time in their life, they are more concerned about appearance. They want to look good. They want to be the cool kids in the school and be more than what really needs to happen in order for to be popular. Seatbelts are one of the biggest reasons 16-year-olds don't typically wear seatbelts. 55% of the fatalities are because of not wearing seatbelts. It's up to the parents to make the judgment if the teen is experienced, responsible, making good decisions. It is required by the state that a 16-year-old has 15 or 15 years old, you can get a permit. That at 16, just because a 16-year-old has the 50 hours doesn't make them a good driver. If they have good grades, that as well doesn't make a good driver. They don't look at the reaction time is a lot slower, and their experience is not up to date. I believe that 18-year-olds would be more beneficial to receiving license, and it could decrease the amount of fatalities that motor vehicle accidents do cause. For example, I received my license when I was 16 years old. Happiest day of my life, of course. I felt I was ready. My mom felt I was ready. It was not 23 days later, I was in an accident. I totaled my very first car. Very devastating day, and I was extremely scared to get back into a vehicle. However, the accident was not my fault. This gentleman ran a red light. I had the green, and I proceeded to go because that's what you do when you have a green arrow, is you go. He did not. He was talking on the cell phone. So he went, and I totaled my very first car. I had other people in the car. And I had, at this time, the law was not that you could only have one other person in the vehicle. You could have more than one. So I had two other people. They were also minors in the vehicle while I was driving. So I was absolutely terrified. And then it made me think, was I really ready to get my license? I felt I was ready. I felt like I was in a good place. And so I waited a while. I told my mom I didn't want to drive anymore for a while. I wanted to kind of sit back and just kind of take it easy. Teens are worried about their phones. They're always texting on their phones, or worried about when the next place they're going to. It takes a lot. It is one of the benefits of a 16-year-old getting their license is they don't have to rely on their parents anymore, which is very, I'm sure, convenient for the parent because they don't have to worry about the inconvenience that they would have to do in order to tote their teenagers around, because they're able to come and go as they please. Although 16-year-olds do have a curfew after a certain time period. During the week, it's 10 p.m. Their licenses are no good. They are no longer valid. On the weekends, it is 11 o'clock. The licenses are no longer valid. So there's a lot of stipulations, which I believe is a good thing. But, I'm not sure. Not that I'm not sure. I know There's a lot of teens who are not ready to get their license, and I think if the driving age was raised to be at the age of 18, I think a lot of fatalities would deplete. They the first within the first month of getting license, generally most fatalities happen then. So it's just, as long as the parent, I guess, was able to recognize if their teen was indeed ready to get the license. Good grades, don't say that they're ready, or it's not a good reward. You got to look at, okay, if my child has good grades and does pass driver's ed, are they ready to drive? It's all about how they carry themselves and how they get to understand the rules of the road and are able to get to that point where the parent thinks that the child is ready. So I think that's good if a parent does focus on that. If they don't believe that they are ready, I don't think it should be allowed that they should get a license. I think a lot of things would definitely, a lot of lives would be saved, and it would be very, very good to raise the teen driving age to the age of 18.